Okay, so to start, let's let u equal x plus pi over 4. Then first notice that u minus pi over 4 is equal to x, and we'll need this, right? And also notice that du is going to simply be equal to dx, right? In addition, the limits of integration are going to change. 0 is going to change to 0 plus pi over 4, so 0 is going to become pi over 4, and pi over 2 is going to change to pi over 2 plus pi over 4, which is 3 pi over 4, right? Okay, so armed with this, we could now rewrite our given integral as integral from pi over 4 to 3 pi over 4, and then the numerator is going to be sine of x, but notice x is u minus pi over 4, so sine of u minus pi over 4, and then divided by sine of u, right? Sine of u, and then dx is simply du, so du. Yeah? Okay, now to move forward, we're gonna need to use the sine of alpha minus beta formula, yeah? Okay, and if you're cool, you'll remember it like I do. Nah, just kidding. Alright. So, sine of alpha minus beta, right, is equal to sine alpha cosine beta minus sine beta cosine alpha, right? Okay, so using that here, we see that sine of u minus pi over 4 is equal to sine u cosine pi over 4, and then minus sine pi over 4 cosine u. Yeah, like that? Okay, now remember, sine of pi over 4 is same as cosine of pi over 4. So that means that right here, I could write root 2 over 2. And since this is the same as sine of pi over 4, I could write root 2 over 2 right here as well. Right? Now, I could factor out a root 2 over 2. And remember, this is the numerator of our integrand. For a second, I'm going to abandon the limits of integration. I'll remember to call them back when we're ready for them. Just less writing, yeah? Okay, so we go, all right, so what we have is root 2 over 2 out here, right? So in the numerator, then it will be sine u minus cos u, right? All of this divided by sine u, but I could just give individual denominators, sine u here, sine u, right? And of course, du, right? Okay, now sine u over sine u is 1. So I go, this is just 1 du, and I want to split them into 2 integrals, that's why I wrote the du here. So, and then I could go minus, right? And then root 2 over 2 integral cosine u over sine u du. Now let's deal with this integral, the second integral somewhere over here, and yeah, it's just a basic substitution, right? It's just simple u sub, right? And since we've already used up the letter u, let's use v. So if we let, in this integral, let me rewrite it very quickly, cosine u over sine u du. In this integral, if we let v equal sine u, right, then dv is going to equal cosine u du, and so dv is exactly the numerator of this. So this becomes integral dv over v. But wait, that's just the natural log of v plus a constant, right? Yeah, but it's a definite integral. Natural log of v. What was v? Sine u. So this is natural log of sine of u. right? So we see that the second integral is the natural log of sine of u, and of course our first integral was pretty straightforward from the get-go, right? Okay, and in fact I want to factor out the root 2 over 2, but first the antiderivative here is just u, right? So we'll have u minus that natural log of sine u, all of that multiplied by root 2 over 2 and then evaluated, right? Okay, so this is what I'm saying. What we have now is this. We have root 2 over 2 and then u from the first integral and then minus, right? And then the natural log of sine u, right? And all of this evaluated from pi over 4 to 3 pi over 4, like that, right? Okay, now when we plug in 3 pi over 4 and then pi over 4 and take the difference on u, it's going to be 3 pi over 4 minus pi over 4, which is 2 pi over 4, which is pi over 2. So once we evaluate, this is going to just be pi over 2 is what I'm saying. And of course we have root 2 over 2 multiplying it. But in this part, right, we'll have the evaluation will go like this, right? Natural log of sine of 3 pi over 4 minus natural log of sine of pi over 4. But sine of 3 pi over 4 is same as sine of pi over 4. So we're subtracting like the same number from itself, and therefore it's going to be 0. What I'm saying is this whole thing is going to reduce to root 2 over 2 and then times pi over 2, which is equal to pi times root 2 all over 4. Yeah? Okay, cool. All right, I'm done here for a 16. Keep watching. Take care.